gadgets. Do I know you?
I guess we did not meet before.
Yeah, okay. What's your name?
Kunjeshwari Das.
Kunjeshwari. Who you got this name from?
Padmanabha Swami
Who?
Maharaj.
Van Goswami.
Ah,
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, I stay here for a while, just I don't go anywhere much.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, we're going to start now. Okay. Haribol. Finish. Sit. Saditas. Pожалуйста. Jai Suparikar Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Jiu Ki Shri Radha Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Jiu Ki Jai Shri Lakshmi Varaha Deva Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Dhama Ki Shri Jai Nityalila Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Shri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Shri Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Shri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Shri Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj Ki Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Shri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Avirbhav Mahamahotsav Titi Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai Srila Gaurkishore Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Shri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Vaishnava Sarvabhaum Shri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Gauriya Vedanta Charya Baladev Vijabhusan Prabhu Ki Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Shri Narottam Srinivas Yamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Sada Goswami Prabhu Ki Srila Swarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Gaura Parshada Vrinda Ki Nam Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Pancha Tattva Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Dhama Ki Jai Shri Antaradvip Mayapur Simanta Dvip Godrum Dvip Madhya Dvip Kola Dvip Ritu Dvip Jana Dvip Moda Druma Dvip Rudadip Atmaka Shri Shri Navadvip Dhama Ki Jai Shri Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Govardhan Dvadashavanatmaka Shri Braj Mandala Dhama Ki Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Radha Govinda, Radha Gopinath, Radha Madan Mohan Jiu ki jai. Shri Radha Gokulananda, Radha Shyama Sundar, Radha Raman, Radha Damodar Jiu ki jai. Shrimati Lalita Vishaka Adi Ashta Shaki Vrinda ki jai. Shri Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, Ananga Manjari, Adi Manjari Vrinda ki jai. Shrimati Vrinda ki jai. Shrimati Purnamasi Yogamaya Devi ki jai. Shri Gopi Swar Mahadeva ki jai. Sarva Vishta Pradata Giriraj Govardhana ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Jiu ki jai. Jai Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Shri Nrsinga Deva ki jai. Bhakta Pravara Shikalad Maharaj ki jai. Charodam Charu Sampradaya Charu Acharya ki jai. Akra Matraj Shri Chaitanya Mat ki jai. Or Ananya Shaka Mat Samuha ki jai. Shri Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Sri Bhuvana Pavana Harinam Sankirtana ki jai. Sri Bhuvana Mangala Harinam Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra ki jai. Sachi Nandana Gaura Hari ki jai. Shri Nityananda Mahajana ki jai. Shri Pancha Tattva ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Jai Shri Shri Nitai Gaura Premanande. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Advaita Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Om Ajnana-Mirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. No, leave it open, because it's only one child running by. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jutaha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakandhitam Vischa Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desataya. Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Iti Namani. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Iti Namani. Namo Vishnupadaya Acharya Singha Rupane Shri Srimad Bhakti Pradhyana Keshavi Iti Namani. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namani. Shri Varsavanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Nama Madhurya Ujjvala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarane Rupanuga Viruddhapa Siddhanta Dvantaharane. Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambudhe Padambujayate Namaha. Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namani Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Guravir Bhava Bhumestvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namah. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Namo Mahabhajanaya Krishna Prema Hridayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tishe Namah. Nityanandam Namastubhyam Premananda Pradayane Kalo Kalamashanashaya Janava Pataye Namah. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari. Jayatam Suruto Pangor Mama Mandamater Gati Matsarvasva Padambojo Radha Madanamohana Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadha Shrimad Ratnagara Singhasanasto Shrimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prestalipi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasarasarambi Vanam Shivata Tatakstitaha Karshana Venu Swanair Gopir Gopinata Shriyestuna Bhaktya Vihina Aparadha Lakshai Kiptascha Kamari Taranga Madhye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanna Vrinde Namaste Charanara Vindam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare. First of all, I offer my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Gurudev Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Astatara Sata Shri Shila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada. Then I'm offering my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable, beloved Siksha Gurudevs Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtatara Sata Shri Shila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Ashtatara Sata Shri Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I offer my Dandavat Pranams at the lotus feet of all of our Sri Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga, especially to the lotus feet of Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pad Paramahansa, Ashtatara Sata Shri Shila, Bhakti Siddhanta, Saraswati Goswami Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, whose transcendental appearance day, 150th anniversary of his appearance in this world, will take place tomorrow. But we are beginning our katha to try to hear some tiny little fragment of his unlimited glories and his transcendental qualities and his teachings. So in this class, and also tonight at 5 p.m., I'll also be speaking on this topic on a Zoom call for half an hour, and then after that I'll continue. So, and my Dandavat Pranams to all of the Vaishnavas, to all of the Vaishnavis who are present here in our assembly, and who are also present through the internet. So my Param Gurudev, the spiritual master of my spiritual master, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Yes, he appeared in this world in Jagannath Puri. And he appeared as the son of the topmost Rupanuga Vaishnava, Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur. But why did he come as his son? Because just as Srila Advaita Acharya Prabhu, he also prayed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He prayed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Krishna, you should descend. Advaita Acharya. He prayed to Krishna, you must descend. And by his earnest pleas and his request, then who came down? The golden avatar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna himself, who is now combined in one form with his divine Swarup Shakti, and the embodiment of Mahabhav Swarup, that is Srimati Radharani. They came together in one form. And so they answered, that is one of the reasons why Krishna came, because Advaitacharya Prabhu called him. He called him to come down. So, after the disappearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates from this world, in the course of the next few hundred years, the children shouldn't play right outside the window. You can tell them they should go far away. So then what happened to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement? Gradually, by the influence of time, by the influence of Kali Yuga, a dark period came. That is told by all of our acharyas. A dark period came. Still, the pure devotees, the Mahabhagavad Vaishnavas, they were all completely absorbed in their bhajan on the highest levels. But the general reputation of the Gaudiya followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had gone into ill repute. The intelligentsia, intellectual people in society, and persons who were known as very staunch dharmic religionists, they observed that so many of the persons who profess to be followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who profess to be, they are coming from the lower sections of society and they are behaving in very low-grade manner. We don't have to go into details, but that became the general opinion amongst that section, the higher section of society here in Bengal and also other parts of India. Because these persons were misrepresenting. And so many different deviations from the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the line of the six Goswamis, the line of his immediate followers, so many deviations took place. And gradually they became deviant sampradayas. The example is given that just like when you have railroad tracks, those railroad tracks are exactly measured to stay continually parallel to the tiniest fraction of an inch. But what would happen if one of those just slightly went off? Then gradually, you see. So this is what takes place in the material world. Do you know that even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna told this to Arjuna? In the 4th chapter, where Krishna was describing to Arjuna how he descends in every yuga. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijami aham. Whenever the dharma goes down, you see, whenever the dharma diminishes and becomes affected by adharma, adharma becomes more prominent. Abhyuttanam adharmasya. Then adharma begins to rise up and become more prominent. Tadatmanam srijamyaham. Krishna says, at that time, I descend. And what does he do? In the next verse, Krishna tells what he does when he descends. Paritranaya sadhunam. Vinashaya cha duskritam. I save my sadhus, my pure devotees. I come to deliver them because they become oppressed by the irreligious section. And I try to deliver them. Paritran means to deliver, to free. Everyone turn off your phones, the sound on your phones. I know you're using your phones to do this. But if you haven't turned off, please turn off the sound on your phones. So the second thing Krishna says, Vinashaya cha duskritam. What is a duskrita? Duskriti. Duskritina. Duskritina is the opposite of sukritina. Sukritina means those who are always acting very piously. Very pious. But duskritin means those who are always acting very sinful life. And they become influenced by demonic tendencies, asuric tendencies. So the more asuric that they are, the more that they cause disturbance. And therefore Krishna says, Vinashaya cha duskritam. I come and I destroy them. I kill them. In most cases, I liberate them by killing them. Because now they are not eligible to be in the human body anymore. They have deviated so far, and then they go down into lower species. But those who become directly killed by Krishna, they get a good result, but not as good as the devotees, of course. No. They can attain liberation, but not the liberation of Bhagavan realization. No, they can only go into the impersonal Brahmajyoti. So, after that, then Krishna says, Vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I establish dharma. Samstapana means to establish. To establish it. So I establish dharma. This is going on continually, yuga after yuga, Krishna says. Yuge yuge. So, there is never a time in our universe when this will stop happening. Why? Because the purpose of this universe is to give the conditioned souls who wanted to misuse their independence to enjoy separately from Krishna, they're given a chance in this material creation. That shows you how merciful Krishna is. He does not interfere with the free will of the jivas. There must be such a place where the jivas who choose the opposite of what they should be doing, okay, then you can do that. And you can experience being separate from me in millions of species of life, and finally you'll get a human body, and then if you are fortunate and pious, you can again perform dharma and come back to me. You see, this is the program. This is the only program of this material creation, this material universes. That's all. And why does Krishna come? Krishna himself comes into our universe every day of Brahma, only once in a day of Brahma. Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sarva Karana Karanam, Ishvara Parama Krishna. He comes. Why does he come? Does Krishna himself have to come? No. His avatars, his incarnations, they come, they establish dharma, they do so many things. But why does Krishna himself come? I can't hear you, Prabhu. Yeah, but in what way? In what way? In what way is he giving mercy? Because all of his incarnations are giving mercy. But in what way does Krishna himself give his mercy?
only to his associates. Krishna gives only love to his associates, not to others.
No. Krishna comes into the material universe. He descends, as he did 5,000 years ago. I know what you're saying, but that's not exactly the point. Krishna comes into the material universe by his merciful nature, as he just told, to give mercy. But in what way? Prem ras niryas korite asvadan, rag marg bhakti loke korite pracharan. These two reasons. E dui hetu hoite ichar udgama. E dui hetu means for these two causes, Krishna comes. What first cause? Prem ras niryas korite asvadan. Asvadan means to taste. Krishna is Rasika Shekhar Krishna. And he's also Parama Karunya, full of supreme mercy. He has these two sides. He is the supreme taster of all rasa, Rasika Shekhar. But he is also Parama Karunyata, supremely merciful. So when Krishna himself comes, I'm quoting these two verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, where Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining why does Krishna come, and later why does he come as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Only these two appearances to taste Prem Ras Niryas.
But what you just mentioned was in the form of Lord Chaitanya.
Yes.
Not Krishna himself before.
I'm saying that he appears twice. He appears as Krishna, and then later he appears as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These two forms. In both forms, he is tasting Prem Ras. Korite asvadan means to taste.
But he could not as he wants to do.
He what?
But he could not as he wants to do. As Lord Chaitanya, he tasted really this, what he wants to taste.
This is a separate subject. Please save that comment. We can go into that. Okay? We can go into that. But right now, I'm trying to explain why does Krishna come. According to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Krishna comes into this world for two reasons. To taste the essence of Prem Ras. Why does he come to taste the essence? Not just Prem Ras. He comes to taste the essence of Prem Ras. Because why? Because he's the supreme taster of all rasa. Rasika Shekhar. You see? Rasika Shekhar. That means the topmost taster of all rasa. Okay, just hold the question. Let me just lay the platform first. Okay? Because this you have to understand. If you don't understand this, you will not understand Chaitanya Charitamrita. And you also will not understand Srimad Bhagavatam. This is very essential to comprehend and understand this very deeply. Our Gurudev lectured on these two verses in 1994, on the day, Vishwarup Mahotsav day, when our Srila Prabhupada took sannyas. And the ISKCON leaders were there and he lectured on this. But he was trying to point out a number of philosophical points which they did not catch properly. So, Krishna does nothing but taste ras. Did you know that? That's Krishna's eternal occupation. He does nothing but taste rasa. Everything he does is for this purpose, to taste rasa. Do you know that all of his incarnations are also for tasting rasa and all varieties of rasa? Yes. Yeah. So, because Krishna is what? Krishna is made of rasa. They're asking you to speak a little louder, they can't hear you. Yeah. Okay. So, do you know that Krishna, the person, Krishna, with his beautiful Shyamasundar form, Do you know what he's made of? Everything is made of something. Everything is made of something. Do you know what Krishna's body, Krishna himself is made of? Do you know? Huh? He is made of only one thing. Rasa. He is rasa personified. The word rasa is sometimes told to mean ecstasy. Ecstasy. Ekstase. Krishna is the embodiment of rasa. And that's why in the Vedas it states raso vai saha. He is rasa. And he comes for the purpose of tasting rasa. So, we also know that Krishna never leaves Goloka Vrindavan. Did you know that about our beloved Krishna? That Krishna never left ever in all eternity. He never left Vrindavan, and he never will leave Vrindavan. Did you know that? Yeah. But then how did he come here to the material world and go traveling through all the universes? Looks like he left Vrindavan.
In the same time, he in Prakat Lila and Aprakat Lila.
But he left Vrindavan. He left Vrindavan. But yet in the Shastras it is said, Vrindavana Prityaja Padam Ekam Nagachati. He never gives up Vrindavan even with 1 foot. He never steps even 1 foot outside of Vrindavan. In all of eternity. But wait a minute, I thought that he expands into Mathura and Dwarka and then into the Vaikuntha planets and all. Yes, but not Nandanandan Krishna. Not that Krishna. Gaudiya Vaishnavas understand this tattva, that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Why does that Krishna never leave Vrindavan? Please tell me. Why? Why does he never leave Vrindavan? You don't know. You should know. There's something that he doesn't want to leave Vrindavan. Why? Huh? Because the highest prem ras is going on there eternally without even a moment stopping. And who is churning this prem ras? Krishna and his associates. Every single associate in Goloka Vrindavan is contributing to this unlimited flow of prem ras. But Krishna is Rasika Shekhar. He's the supreme taster of all rasa. And because of that, he never leaves Vrindavan. When he looks like he's coming here to the material world, we have Srimad Bhagavatam. It says that 5,000 years ago, he descended here, and then the pastimes of taking birth simultaneously in Mathura to Devaki and Vasudev, and in Gokul to Nanda and Yashoda, and all of his pastimes, 90 chapters. It looks like he left Vrindavan and came here to the material world, but no. He transported the entire spiritual world here. Because Goloka Vrindavan is none different than himself. This has to be understood. Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam. That Aradhya Dev, Aradhya means the worshipable Lord. That Aradhya Dev, Krishna, the son of Mother Yashoda and the son of Nanda Maharaj, you will only find him in Vrindavan, because Vrindavan is his eternal abode. But when he comes here, he expands that eternal abode, because that eternal abode, Vrindavan, is unlimited and infinite. Infinite. There's no boundaries. So when Krishna descends 5,000 years ago in any of our universes, Krishna's again and again performing his pastimes there, then it is arranged that his entire dham descends. And all of his associates who eternally live in Goloka Vrindavan, they also descend. They also never leave. They're always there. This is very sublime Siddhanta that we, as Gaudiya followers of Srila Rupa Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can only relish and taste this. Because Radha and Krishna are the ultimate goal of all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So, Prem Ras Niryas Koriteya. Krishna descends for the purpose of tasting the niryasa of Prem Rasa. Niryasa means what? Essence. The essence of Prem Rasa. That's why he descends, because he's a Rasika Shekhar. But also because Krishna is Parama Karunyata, supremely merciful. He also wants to give this Prem Ras. He wants to give this nectar to the jivas. And the jivas who are in the material world, they are suffering for millions of lifetimes without their relationship with Krishna. So out of causeless mercy, Krishna comes and displays. He makes a transcendental drama presentation of all of his Braj Leela pastimes, which are infinite. Why? Also to attract the conditioned souls. If Krishna did not come to this world, we would not know about him. We would not know about his Goloka Vrindavan planet. We would not know about his associates if Krishna himself did not come. If only his avatars and incarnations and Yuga avatars and Leela avatars, if they came, we would not know about Krishna. But Krishna is so merciful that he comes with his dham from Goloka Vrindavan and he demonstrates to the jivas, you see, here I am. Not only that, when he expands his Vasudev feature and he appears to leave Vrindavan on the chariot of Akrura, it looks like he's leaving, but he's not leaving. He stays there. Yes. He does not leave. In another Prakosht, he is there always. And who leaves? Who goes on the chariot? Vasudev Krishna. Yes, Vasudev Krishna. And Balaram. Expansion, Sankarshan Balaram. So, when Krishna performs his pastimes for those 125 years on our planet, and he stays in these three places, Vrindavan, Braj Mandala, Mathura Mandala, and then Dwarka. But Krishna also goes to Kurukshetra. Why? Because Krishna has a job to perform. What is that job? He has to keep his promise to Lord Brahma. Because in the beginning of the 10th canto, Bhumi Devi, the goddess of the earth planet, she approached Lord Brahma with tears in her eyes. I am so suffering so much. There are so many demonic, asuric, military forces that have proliferated on my body. Her body is this earth planet. She feels like we do when with our sense of touch. So she also feels it is a great burden for her when the demoniac military forces. So therefore, when Lord Brahma went to the shore of the ocean of milk and he received a message from Kiradakshai Vishnu that very soon I will descend and all of you demigods, you should also descend. So Krishna had to complete this task of lightening the burden of the world. And so the whole Mahabharata and the story of the Yadu dynasty and the story of the Kauravas and the Pandavas, and then finally culminating in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. This was all to accomplish that task and to install his eternal associates, the Pandavas, to install them as the rulers of the planet. So, in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, millions and millions of soldiers were killed. But of course, they all attained liberation because Krishna was right there on the battlefield. So, but Krishna took that opportunity, and then on the chariot of Arjuna, as the charioteer, Krishna now gave his teaching. What is it called? What is the teaching of Krishna on the chariot of Arjuna?
Bhagavad Gita.
Yes. What does Bhagavad Gita mean? This word Bhagavad Gita. What's the meaning of that word? Huh?
The song of God.
What does the word Gita mean?
Song.
It means song. What does the word Bhagavad mean?
The Supreme or God.
It means
The highest.
of Bhagavan. Bhagavad means of Bhagavan. So Bhagavad Gita means the song of Bhagavan. This is his message to all conditioned souls. The Bhagavad Gita. And there he explained to all of us how we can attain our eternal spiritual form in the spiritual world, how we can attain eternal service to his lotus feet in his eternal spiritual planet, Goloka Vrindavan. There he told the process called Bhakti Yoga. Now Bhakti Yoga has different degrees, different stages, different levels of elevation. And basically it is divided into 3 sections. Sadhana Bhakti, that means bhakti in the stage of practicing, sadhana. Bhav Bhakti, bhakti in the stage of what? Ecstatic love. And Prema Bhakti, full perfection. Rupa Goswami has very carefully explained all these stages of bhakti. So, Krishna told the preliminary process, how to come onto the pathway of full surrender and then entering into the pathway of pure bhakti. Without surrender, you cannot enter pure bhakti. But then Krishna also, just after his disappearance from this world, then Krishna also manifested what? Srimad Bhagavatam, which would fully tell all the levels of attainment of all the different levels of pure devotees. Yes. But the deep explanation and the explanation of this pathway of Rag Marg Bhakti. That pathway was not thoroughly given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is suggested. There is an outline given. But Krishna had to again descend in the golden form as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then when he descended in that form, then what did he do? Rag Marg Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharam. He began to distribute the pathway by which all the jivas can come into the pathway of Rag Anuga Bhakti, which means to follow the moods of the eternal associates of Radha and Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, how they serve Krishna. He gave that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrated, and then he instructed his 6 Goswamis, and especially Rupa Sanatan and Raghunath Das Goswamis, and they wrote the books, and they demonstrated. They went to Braj by the order of Mahaprabhu, and they showed by their practice, by their lifestyle, how to apply this process to perfection. And they entered into the realm of complete absorption in Radha and Krishna's pastimes. They were revealed in the hearts of the 6 Goswamis. What was not even mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, it was revealed in their hearts. Just like the song that we sing in the evening after the Tulsi Parikrama, then we sing Hari Harai Nama Krishna. There is telling about the 6 Goswamis, Echai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilavas. That these 6 Goswamis, they went and they began to do Brajvas, to live in Brajvas. And then, what did they do? In Braj, Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korilo Prakash. Prakash means manifested. They manifested the eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna and the process to attain. Only in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has this become available to the jivas. That's why Rupa Goswami, when he first saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, Namo Mahabhadanaya, Krishna Prem Pradayate. You are Krishna himself. Krishnaya, you are Krishna. But now you have come in this form, Krishna Chaitanya Namane. Now you have this name, Krishna Chaitanya. But you're Krishna. And you are now giving the greatest thing that has ever been given, Krishna Prem. Gaura Trishe Namaha. And you've come in this golden form because you are Radha and Krishna. And you've come to give the highest prem of Radha and Krishna without any restriction. You have come to give fully. Why Krishna did like this? Because he is supremely merciful. This is my point. So, when Krishna comes, he does not thoroughly distribute Krishna Prem, like what you were saying. It is not fully given, freely. But then he decides, no, I have to come again. And then I will give this highest Prem. Because otherwise, how can he be called the Mahavadanya? Mahavadanya avatar. The greatest, most generous giver ever. How can he be called that? Unless he's giving the highest thing. You understand? You cannot say someone is the greatest giver unless they're giving the greatest thing. If they're the greatest giver, but they're just giving some inferior thing, how you can call them Mahavadanya? No.
He is giving the greatest thing to the lowest.
And then again, it even goes further. How merciful he is that he is making available to the lowest living entities in the Kali Yuga. What was not even available in the Satya Yuga. Even after 50,000 years of meditation in the Satya Yuga, not even available. How great is Mahaprabhu? So all of Mahaprabhu's associates, they have descended from time to time to assist this process of giving this greatest thing to the jivas. And that's why in the beginning of my talk today, I said that Srila Advaitacharya called Mahaprabhu to descend because there was so much opposition at that time. Yes. And he said only Krishna himself can do. And in the same way, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he also saw the condition and he prayed to Mahaprabhu, please send one of your own men. One of your own. And when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur took birth in Jagannath Puri of all places, yes, then all the symptoms were on his tiny little baby body. All the symptoms of a great Siddha Mahapurusha were there. And as he grew in his first weeks and months, Bhaktivinoda Thakur could understand, he's the one. He's the one I prayed for. And is it a fact? Yes. How do we know that? Because what he did, no one else can do. How he took the mission of Mahaprabhu, especially from the lotus hands of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who had also been sent from Goloka Vrindavan. Kamala Manjari herself, direct associate of Radha and Krishna, Manjari, descended as Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And he created the template, the blueprint for the spreading of the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the entire world. We cannot stress that enough. If Bhaktivinoda Thakur had not descended, we would not be here. And then if Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, prayed for by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if he had not descended, we would not be here. Because they made this process, this movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the line of Rupa Goswami, they made this available to the whole world. Now it's available. And then in their wake, his disciples, especially Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, my Gurudev, but so many other great associates and disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, they also helped to establish this Gaudiya Mat. And then the mission in the West, the ISKCON movement of Srila Prabhupada, to go to the whole world. And then after that, after Prabhupada left his body, before he left, then he said, yes, now we have to complete. Now what I was trying to give in those 12 years in the Western countries, now it has to be completed. And therefore he called Srila Narayan, Bhaktivedanta Narayan Raj to his bedside, because he knows who he is. He knows who he is and what his level is. So then, a very intimate relationship, he said, please help my disciples after I go. So everything was completed by Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. He gave all the books now that we need to go on to this pathway of Rag Marg Bhakti. You see. And more books are coming and more books have been translated. But without such a Braj Rasik Mahabhagavad Vaishnava coming to the whole world and preaching this message, it would not be possible. That is the proof that he was able to do what he did. Hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. They came to his lotus feet. Why? Because he's the real thing. He's not an imitation. There are so many imitators. Oh, he's very Rasik. Oh, he's very Rasik. No. You cannot imitate a Rasik Vaishnava. Either you are one or you're not. Either you're realized in the stage of Bhav Bhakti or you're not realized. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Raj and his godbrothers, they did not come. Especially Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Maharaj, but of the highest Mahabhagavad caliber. So the whole mission of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur made this possible. If he had not started Gaudiya Mat, and if he had not also introduced Daivi Varnashram Dharma to the world, we would not have this mission. Because this Daivi Varnashram Dharma system makes it possible for the jivas on any level, anywhere in the world, from any background, to begin the process of coming into this pathway of bhakti. See? So we will talk so much more about the glories of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur this evening at 5. Don't be late. It's starting sharp at 5 because there is a Zoom call, so you should come 15 minutes before and not disturb while the Zoom call is going on, coming in, out like that. And we will discuss so much more about our beloved Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and his incredible contribution for us, to save us. So Gaur Premanandi Jainitya Lilata Vishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa Statara Sata Shri Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki 150th anniversary of Srila Prabhupada's appearance in this world Ki Gaur Premanandi
149.
Okay.
You will see tomorrow.
Doesn't matter to me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo, Hare Krishna. Shri Navadvip Dhamma ki jai, Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Brindai Tulsi Bai Priyai Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Vancha Kalpadurubhasya Kripa Sindhu Deva Chapatitanam Bhavanim Yo Vaishnavi. And then tomorrow we'll also have Katha. Tomorrow, because tomorrow is the actual appearance day.
That means 11 o'clock.
Yeah, this time.
Okay. When you want to go?
But I want to go to Mayapur.
When?
Tomorrow.
Which time?
In the afternoon, I think. In the afternoon. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And pay obeisances there at Sri Chaitanya Mat. But anyway, there's a possibility to alter this plan.
Would be also nice to have the class before and then maybe go to the noon time.
But one thing is, we're going to Mayapur on Saturday. I mentioned that yesterday for that other program also. And that's also a morning program.
It starts there at 10 o'clock in Mayapur.
Yeah. So we'll leave here at 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay.
And there'll be a number of sannyasis there, and we'll glorify Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati.
Okay.
Okay. Hari Bol. Jai Mahaprasad. But so many gadgets are leaving behind.
Excuse me.
And those are whose? Madhavis? All Madhavis? Really? All of them?
Yes.
Okay.
I have not known. Back to Godroom.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dharma Varnashram Dharma, it means Varnashram
difference. Gurudev explained that Varna Ashrama Dharma means Varna Dharma and Ashram Dharma. What is that? It means Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, that's called Varna Dharma. And then Ashram Dharma, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. Okay? So that's the normal, full Varnashram Dharma that was existing previously in Vedic civilization. But in this present time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he modified this, and he called it Daivi Varnashram Dharma. Daivi means transcendental, not material, not by birth, not by the birth of this body. Someone is not a Brahmin by birth, someone is not like that. They have to be by what? As Krishna says in the Gita, Guna Karma Vibhagasa. So, but Gurudev explained that the application of this Daivi Varnashram Dharma was mainly through the system of Ashram Dharma, because he established the Gaudiya Mat. And before that, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was just preaching in Namahata. But then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati saw that it is necessary to establish mats. And in the mat, then you will have the divisions of the ashramas. Brahmacharis, Grihastas, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. The Grihastas will live outside of the mat, not in the mat. Unless they are living separately, like that. But not together. If they're living together with family, then they live outside of the mat and they visit the mat. And the brahmacharis, the vanaprasthas and sannyasis live in the mat. So the whole system of ashram dharma was essential to also, especially like when Srila Prabhupada went to the West, he immediately started to establish, just like his Guru Maharaj did. Otherwise it would not be possible to actually have a pure Krishna consciousness movement. Everything would just be all hodgepodge and mixed up, you see. So that division was necessary. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he established that with the Gaudiya Mat preaching mission. And then it was extended to the whole world now. So that is the method through which the conditioned souls can come into the pathway of bhakti from step one, even from the very beginning stages, like I did, like so many of us. We just came right out of the material world, came into the temple, and began to live as a brahmachari.
Okay, I understood about ashram. Means in this Daivi Varnashram Karma, ashram I saw, but Varna, it's not letter. Varna. Which Varna?
No, it's there, but it cannot be established in the same formal way that the government, actually in the Vedic times, the Kshatriya kings, they enforced the Varna Dharmas. They enforced it. There were laws. You have to act in your Varna. If you're a Brahmin, you have to live as a Brahmin. You have to live as a Kshatriya. You have to act like that, you see?
And now we are who we are.
But look at, okay. When Krishna says in the Gita, this is a good question that you're asking. When Krishna says in the Gita, Chaturvarnyam mayashishtam gunakarma vibhagasha. Okay? I have created these divisions, Chaturvarnyam. I have created these divisions according to the division of what? Guna karma. Quality means guna, and karma means activity. So, and that is established forever. In other words, according to the karma of the jivas, they take birth as a human being, right? And they also have different samskaras from previous lives. And they have their karma and so forth. So some, they will take birth with the tendency, okay, the qualities and the tendency to work as a Brahmin. Some will take birth with the quality and the tendency of a Kshatriya, okay? Vaishya, Shudra. Shudras are just in general, they serve. And they have that quality. They have that quality. So, that is existing in society, but not in a properly defined way. It's still there. A person that has the qualities of a Brahmin,
Somehow, means we don't know, for example, that we are Shudra, for example, that we are...
we can understand. We can understand by how we want to perform our work and activities. Because Shudras are very happy to just be having a job and to serve others. But above the Shudras, especially a Brahmana can never be employed by anyone. It's a very awkward thing for a person who has the nature and qualities of a Brahman to be employed by someone else, because that means you're a Shudra. You have a boss. In Vedic culture, Brahmins were always independent. Kshatriyas, they have to perform the activity that Kshatriyas perform of protection. Because the word Kshatriya means to protect one from being hurt, from your body to be hurt by any weapon or anything. Kshatriya. So they have that nature, and we can see that there are persons who automatically they like to go towards military or police or even government, because the Kshatriyas are also organizers. You see, like that. But nowadays it has become like even Shudras and even Vaishyas, especially Vaishyas, who are in the mode of ignorance and passion, because the three modes of nature are affecting. In the mode of goodness, more is Brahman. In the Kshatriya is passion, then Vaishya, mixed mode of passion and ignorance, and then Shudra are in the mode of Tamagun. And that's the reason why they should never be independent. You see, so in the Vedic system, the Shudras are maintained by a very nice system. They have all necessities of life and given to them by their employers, who are either Vaishyas, mostly Vaishyas, and then also Kshatriyas, they become employed by them like that. So the whole system of Varnashram Dharma is meant for elevating gradually the Jiva souls so that they can become devotees of Bhagavan. That's what the purpose of Varnashram Dharma is. Yes. Yeah. So in the Krishna consciousness movement, because the movement of Lord Chaitanya involves many, many activities of service, direct service of bhakti, within the realm of bhakti, chief of which is to preach the message of Mahaprabhu. Okay? So, in the course of that, like the Krishna consciousness movement, ISKCON, and the opening temples and all of that, it had all the different facets whereby the propensities of each person can be engaged in some kind of bhakti. Like there are business type people, they joined, you should start this incense business and this and that, like that. But all is connected with the service, you see, in bhakti. But it's not, like Prabhupada actually did have some intention to have a university called Varnashram College, where in his movement, even amongst the Vaishnavas, he wanted to have some system by which they could be trained to do the activities of their nature, you see, and they could be properly employed. But the Krishna consciousness movement can employ all natures, you see, and then also be connected with pure bhakti, with pure devotion. Like that. So that's why the Daivi Varnashram Dharma system and the Gaudiya Mat is really the first time in the modern society that this kind of attempt was being made. And because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was very, he would not allow that anyone who was misrepresenting the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that they could go without being opposed. He would oppose them. He would debate them. He would challenge them, and he would defeat them. You see? So, in the society, there are so many smarta brahmanas, but they're not devotees. And they're also very materialistic, a lot of them. And that was even during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very materialistic. Money and fame. And so all of the caste system of India is just polluted with these lower tendencies of money and fame and material enjoyment like that. Even when they're coming from caste Goswami lines, even when they're coming from those lines. So many of them, they don't follow, they don't really practice pure devotion in their lives, like that. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was very challenging, because prior to that, there would be such a system to the caste system that only Brahmins can initiate and have disciples. And only the Brahmins can become sannyasis and like this, okay? So that system was only by birth. Oh, you're born in a Brahmin family, see? So he opposed and he challenged that.
That's why they want to kill.
Yes, exactly.
But one thing also I don't understand. I know that some, like from Nityananda, going one line, Nityananda Parivar Advaita and different. This is Goswami. Who is Goswami? Okay, from Brahmas it's
these caste Goswamis. This is called what is it called? Jati Gosai.
From where is this?
No, but this is a deviation. This is deviation. That is one of the 13 Aprasampradayas that Bhaktivinoda Thakur identified. They're called Jati Gosai. Jati means family. They're just from their birth in a family line, they're called Gosai. And to this day in Bengal, people are very much, they like this this system. They still believe that just because someone is born in the line of Nityananda Prabhu, or in the line of Advaitacharya like this, and other lines, that they should be worshipped like on the top level, So that's all bogus. That's all bogus. But it does not mean that there are some genuine persons who are also coming in those lines, because the lines of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from his different associates, there are so many, especially in Bengal, and also in Braj. So we examine the qualities of someone. We don't just, he's a Babaji from the Advaita line and this and that. No. We examine their Vaishnavata. Are they pure Vaishnavas? How do they live? Those pure Vaishnavas who are coming in some of the other lines, and they, like Babaji lines, they follow the system prior to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, the system of the 6 Goswamis. They didn't wear saffron cloth, even Swarup Damodar, and then they didn't wear. Mahaprabhu took saffron because he took sannyas in that sampradaya, but the 6 Goswamis, they just wore regular tattered cloth, but they were fully renounced and pure. So the taking of the title Goswami, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was very vehement against that. And even when he went to Vrindavan, some of the caste Goswamis, they closed the doors of the temples. And then there was a whole case where some of the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj, he tells us in his book, about 6 of them, Srila Sridhar Maharaj and others, who are born in Brahmin families, and also born in Goswami lines, they went to challenge them. But there were so many who were also good, but the fact that they externally took the title Goswami, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati challenged that. You cannot take the title Goswami. This is not an ordinary family name. But that's what happened. They did that. And they did that in other lines as well.
Yes, now it's also going on.
Yeah, and it's also increased.
Here many, that's why it's very interesting to understand what is
but see, look, even our Gurudev told, he said, don't think that amongst the Babajis at Radhakund or in Braj or here and there, don't think that all of them are bogus. There are some, they're in small number, really, truly pure Vaishnavas. Those persons, we honor them, because otherwise we are committing Vaishnava Aparad if we don't properly honor them and respect them, you see. So we want their association.
Need to understand, and need time to understand who is it.
Yeah, but if you have someone who has been practicing for like 30 years in Braj, for example, their life is an open book. They are every day chanting 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, every day. Very strict, never breaking any of the principles, and doing parikrama of the holy Dham every day, and doing kirtan for like 8 hours a day, What do you think? they're just ordinary? No, they're very exalted. And Krishna will also make sure. It doesn't matter whether they're wearing saffron or white color, or whether they have shaven head or they have matted hair, because matted hair is also the system. You know, Vamshidas Babaji Maharaj, most personality. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati worshipped him. You see his picture, just a loincloth and matted hair, and he looks like a madman. But topmost level, okay? So we always have to be very, very careful with those who truly, truly are practicing. And some of them are in Madhyam level, but there are also some that are very high, and they have realized their Swarup. These persons are rare, very rare, but we honor them, you see. And it's not, like I told in my class the other day, it's not so easy to recognize who is a pure Vaishnava. But those who are more advanced Vaishnavas...
That's why we're going with you in that darshan, because I don't know, I heard about him, but I don't know it's true or not. I also, because I'm not even...
I also have not studied that very much, but I know that they exist, you know. And this Teen Kodi Baba, who is his guru, where the Samadhi is there, he was very, very famous and well known as top-level personality. And there are such personalities over hundreds of years. There's actually even a book that tells about all these very, very extraordinary persons who lived in Braj, you know. But they're very rare, especially nowadays, you know. But if I see that someone is, you know, so much tapasya and austerity.
He lived in
Varshana. Yeah.
Varshana forest.
What?
Some forest. Because
No.
we told in jungle.
No, not nowadays. Nowadays they cannot do that. But he lives very, very simple, small ashram in Varshana, right near to Pilipukur, which is not far from it's like right in the town, but on the outskirts of the town. And there he does kirtan. There are many videos of him online. You can see his kirtan is just so wonderful, so sweet and amazing. And he does every day miles of parikrama in Varshana, on foot, barefoot. He's been doing it for 35 years in Braj, you know. And he lives so austere, so simple, and he's doing nothing but kirtan, chanting and preaching. 24 hours a day. I mean, I can't even hold a tiny little candle. He takes rest for 2 hours. From 12 midnight till 2. Up till 12 midnight, he does kirtan for about 4 or 5 hours every night. Kirtan. And does some katha also, you know. And then he gets up at 2, and then he does his whole program of kirtan and chanting and his japa and parikrama, and then till midday. Then takes some prasadam, and then at midday he takes 2 hours of rest, and then again all the way till midnight, you know. No one can do this unless they are tasting something. No one can do that. This is the proof, you see. So we honor them. And we have our line of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and the Rupa Goswami line. Those who are coming in that Babaji line, they follow that practice, right? And they also, those who are bona fide, they have very great honor and respect for our Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, like that. And they recognize that our Guru's line are the ones that have spread this mission all over the world, you see.
But they given respect here also, means in this Prachin Mayapur, means this Goswami's lines, yeah? They thinking, they not accept that place.
No, they accept. These are caste.
Yeah, they don't accept
those who are from here, from Navadvip.
Yeah.
No, because of money. They're not going to give that up.
But Babaji, they like give respect here and there, everywhere.
That's okay.
it's like
It's okay.
it's normal.
But the point is that at the time of Mahaprabhu, his appearance, Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Sarvabhauma, our Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji, he was accepted by all of the, and he's coming in the Babaji line, okay? He is the one that confirmed that it's there. So they all know that. Everyone knows that. They accept that that's the actual place. But these persons, they were making lots of money for so many years, you know, and so they're not going to stop. Well, let it be. But we follow our line. We follow our acharyas of our line, and they are the topmost personalities. But there are also some coming in the other lines, and we should not discount them just because they're coming in the Babaji line, you know, like that. Okay. This was still on?
Yes.
You're tricking me.